all of the way that you designed your career, and what you pursued and how you pursued it, I think teed you up for, what we like to talk about, which is entrepreneurship. So talk about how Laird Superfood was born and what went into it.
Well, the truth is it started early on in my career. I was and I looked at surfing and I go, well, where are people making money in surfing? And it wasn't the surfers. It was the apparel companies. And I'm like, oh, the apparel guys, I got it. And they were most of the apparel guys weren't great surfers. But they used surfers to sell apparel. And so then I got a guy that I knew had an apparel line, and he liked my surfing. And so I ended up becoming friends with him and got exposed to, I wouldn't say I learned how to cut. So I just learned the process of making apparel, design, sales, the whole deal, understand the whole market, saw the companies that were making, like OP and Hang 10 and all these big clothing companies, and that, what they were doing. And in that process, I learned about brands, that the brand was the only kind of intangible. Like it was the only thing that you couldn't just make. You couldn't just make a brand.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make a brand and then develop a brand and make it become a brand, but that takes time.
Yeah.
And it has to have
intention.
Yeah. And history. And you gotta, you don't just become a brand without a lot of investment. And then even then, if it's not authentic, then people can sense it. And then it's a bought brand. Then you just created something and you didn't really. So, that's where I felt like, that's when I kind of pulled back from that and just thought, well, I just have to focus on my passion, my thing. And I am my brand.
You'll be the brand.
I'll be the brand. And in the beginning, a lot of companies were helping me build my brand. Like my sponsors, Oxbow, or like my sponsors, like American Express, like anybody who used me, anybody who used Laird Hamilton in their advertising was spending money on my brand, and building my brand.
Oh yeah,
which was building my brand.
You're building a personal brand, and they're adding their value, which builds you.
Yeah,
and then
authenticizes yours. Authenticizes yours, because if these companies that are great brands are saying, "Hey, this isn't the." He's endorsing our brand, that legitimizes your value anyway. But the thought that's the invisible thing that you can, and then what do you put that on, right? So then eventually, what do you put that, where if you have that brand, because eventually, in the beginning you're sponsored, right? And then eventually you get to a point where you kind of need to sponsor yourself. Like you should be doing something for yourself. And so apparel made sense, hard goods, boards and stuff made sense. And then fitness, because fitness is something in my career that we've evolved into, which is really health and wellness and longevity and ultimately just being a better organism.